The British journal Financial Times on December 22nd described Field Marshal Asim Muneer as an effective strategic leader in the changing global order, noting that Pakistan's leadership remained actively engaged in maintaining simultaneous relations with the United States, China, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. According to the Financial Times, he is the very model of a middle power multi-aligner, advancing Pakistan's diplomacy effectively in the current global environment. Chief of Defense Forces is the only army chief of the country who has received such recognition at the global level. Field Marshal's diplomacy not only strengthened Pakistan's global position but also increased Pakistan's influence in the region's geopolitical situation, according to the Financial Times. The question is, what is the reason for Pakistan receiving such recognition at the global level? One contributing factor to Pakistan's international recognition has also been the role of the Pakistan Army in the battle of truth, which cannot be denied. In this regard, in his recent statement, former Foreign Minister said that Pakistan achieved not only a military but also a moral victory against India. The armed forces defended national sovereignty with full resolve, and by achieving success against India, convinced the world that when the Pakistani people unite, they never fail. It should also be mentioned that under the leadership of Field Marshal, Pakistan's relations with the United States have reached historic highs. There was a time in the recent past when the country's PM would wait for a call from US President Joe Biden, and now US President Donald Trump praises Pakistani Field Marshal and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. In fact, Donald Trump repeated used phrases of respect for the Field Marshal, which reflects the historic successes of realigned national foreign policy. On one hand, Pakistan's relations with the United States have improved, but on the other hand, India is facing historic humiliation. After the imposition of heavy tariffs by the United States, India is being forced to search for new markets for its exports. President Trump imposed a 50% tariff on Indian products, and after threatening additional tariffs on Indian rice, India has accelerated the process of free trade negotiations with developed countries. The latest development is that on December 18th, a free trade agreement between Oman and India has also been signed. Moreover, during December, Oman awarded Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi the country's highest civilian honor, the Order of Oman. On the other hand, Saudi Arabia also awarded Field Marshal the King Abdulaziz Medal of Excellence in December. While diplomatically such honors are considered recognition of the services of any political leader or military figure for promoting mutual relations. However, diplomatically, all of this is not as straightforward as it appears. Whether in the present era or any time in the past, the history of international relations bears witness to the fact that any country appreciates another country only when it sees there a glimpse of its own interests. In this context, the recent strong appreciation of Pakistan by the United States is certainly a welcome development and should be considered not only a useful but also a positive opportunity for Pakistan. However, it should also be kept in mind that if this global appreciation, that is, the improving international image, is not timely converted into concrete economic, educational, training, and institutional reforms in the national interest, such golden opportunities have a very narrow window and cannot last for long. The basic reason for this is that in the geopolitical context, the dynamics of the world geopolitical situation do not remain the same and change with change of time. If today one country is receiving attention and appreciation, tomorrow this focus may shift to another state. Until countries like Pakistan develop the real capacity to stand on their own feet and are able to stabilize their fragile economy on sustainable foundations, the specter of instability will persist. This clearly means that mere temporary praise and appreciation cannot automatically strengthen the economy. To achieve these goals, it is necessary that we wisely benefit from the elevated position attained in the world after the battle of truth and immediately attract investment into our projects from such global and regional zones through which the practical journey of development and welfare can begin in Pakistan. In this regard, restoring the confidence of local investors is also indispensable because without internal confidence, foreign investment cannot yield lasting results. However, the question remains as to how all this will be possible when, due to the recklessness of short sighted rulers over many years across different periods of government, several of our national institutions have effectively become cancer stricken. Excessive political appointments by sidelining merit, the promotion of bribery, and mismanagement have damaged these institutions to such an extent that it demands revolutionary restructuring across all institutions and their restabilization in accordance with modern requirements. Only in this way will domestic and foreign investors be able to obtain the facilitation, confidence, and support that are indispensable for any sustainable economic development. When the flow of domestic and foreign investment in Pakistan and its facilitation by institutions improve, not only will the economy stabilize, but Pakistan will also become capable of confronting all kinds of conspiracies and external pressure. Credible investment will enhance the capacity of national institutions, strengthen financial and administrative structures, and promote a culture of transparency and accountability in the country. In this way, Pakistan will not only be prepared to face economic crises, but will also be able to take effective defensive and strategic measures against internal and external threats, thereby further safeguarding national sovereignty and security.